Welcome to the Tech and AI Toolbox, AI, apps, and future tech. Discover the latest AI tools, software innovations, and technologies changing the way we live and work. From smart apps to future trends, we explore the ideas and solutions shaping the digital world. Open the toolbox. The future starts here.
Hey. Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Zoe, and I am so glad you're here. Grab a coffee, put your feet up, or maybe you're on your way to work right now. Wherever you are, thanks for spending some time with me today. Now, before we dive in, let me give you a little taste of what's coming. We are talking about artificial intelligence, but not the scary sci-fi stuff, and not the super complicated maths behind it. No, we are talking about AI in your everyday life, the stuff that's already here, the stuff that's changing how you live, how you work, and maybe even how you think. I'll show you some examples you probably didn't even realize were AI. We will talk about smart assistants, about your photo gallery, about the tools you might already be using without knowing it. And I'll give you a few practical tips on how you can make AI work for you starting today. Sounds good? All right, let's jump in. So let's start with something simple. You wake up in the morning. What happens? Maybe you check your phone. Maybe you say, "Hey Siri," or "Okay Google" to set a timer or check the weather. That right there is artificial intelligence. Voice assistants have been around for a while now, but they are getting smarter every single day. They understand context better. They handle accents more naturally. And the newest models, like the ones powering the latest smart speakers, can even hold a real conversation. I am not saying they are perfect. They still mess up, but the difference between a voice assistant from 5 years ago and one from today is massive. 5 years ago, you had to speak in a very specific way. You had to say exactly the right key words. Today, you can just talk naturally. You can say, "Hey, what's the plan for later?" and it knows what you mean. That is a real shift. Now, after you check the weather, maybe you open your photo gallery. You took a bunch of pictures yesterday, and the gallery app has already sorted them into albums. It knows who your friends are. It knows which pictures are from your vacation. It even created a little highlight video for you without you asking. That is AI. It is analyzing thousands of pixels, recognizing faces, understanding scenes, and making decisions about what matters to you. And honestly, it does a pretty good job. I've had moments where my phone showed me a memory from 3 years ago that I had completely forgotten about. And yeah, that feels a bit like magic, but it is just really good pattern recognition. Let's talk about something you probably use every single day. Navigation. Whether you use Google Maps, Apple Maps, or Waze, artificial intelligence is running the show behind the scenes. It predicts traffic based on historical data and real-time information from millions of other phones. It finds the fastest route, even if that means sending you through a side street you've never seen before. It learns your habits. If you always leave for work at 8 in the morning, it might already have your route ready before you even open the app. And it gets better over time. The more you use it, the more it learns about your preferences. Do you avoid highways? Do you prefer the scenic route? It picks up on that stuff. And this is a perfect example of AI that just works. You don't think about it, you just follow the directions. But behind that simple blue line on a map is an incredibly complex system of machine learning models, all working together to save you time. Now, speaking of things that just work, let's talk about streaming services. Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, all of them. Every single recommendation you see is powered by AI. When Netflix suggests a show and you think, "Wow, I actually want to watch that," that is not luck. That is an algorithm that has studied what you watched, what you skipped, what you rated, and what millions of other people with similar tastes have done. It is the same with Spotify. Your Discover Weekly playlist is generated by AI. It analyzes the audio of songs you like, the playlists you save, and even the time of day you listen to certain genres. And then it creates a custom playlist just for you, every single week. I still look forward to mine every Monday morning. And the scary part is, it is usually pretty accurate. Like, how does it know I am in the mood for this exact song right now? It doesn't really know, of course. It is just really good at predicting patterns. But the effect feels personal. All right, let's shift gears a little and talk about something a bit more recent. Large language models. You have probably heard of ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. These are AI models that can understand and generate human-like text. and they are changing how we work in a huge way. Let me give you an example. Imagine you have to write an email to a client. You know what you want to say, but you are not sure how to phrase it. You can open up a chat with an AI, type in a rough draft, and ask it to make it sound more professional. In seconds, you have a polished version. Or maybe you were stuck on a creative problem. You can ask the AI to brainstorm ideas with you. It won't have all the answers, but it can give you a starting point. And that is incredibly powerful. But here's the thing. You have to know how to use it. A lot of people try these tools once, ask a bad question, get a bad answer, and then give up. But if you learn to ask the right questions, if you learn to give the AI good context and clear instructions, the results can be amazing. Think of it like talking to a really smart intern. They know a lot of facts, but they need you to guide them. You need to tell them what you want, how you want it, and what format it should be in. And then you need to check their work, because AI makes mistakes. It can sound super confident while being completely wrong. So always double check. And this brings me to a bigger point. AI is not replacing us, not yet. What it is doing is changing what it means to be productive. Think about tasks that used to take hours. Summarizing a long document, translating a text, organizing your notes, finding information in a huge data set. All of these things can now be done in minutes or even seconds with the help of AI. That frees up your time to focus on the things that actually matter. The creative work, the strategy, the human connection, the stuff that AI can't do well. Let's talk about another area where AI is quietly making a big difference. Your email inbox. If you use Gmail, you have seen Smart Reply and Smart Compose, those little suggested phrases that pop up when you are typing. That is AI. It reads what you are writing, predicts what you are likely to say next, and offers suggestions. And honestly, it saves me so much time, especially on my phone. Typing out a full response on a tiny keyboard is annoying, but tapping a couple of suggested words, that is fast. And the AI is getting better at understanding tone, too. It knows when to be formal and when to be casual, and then there is spam filtering. Every email service uses AI to decide what is spam and what is not. It looks at thousands of signals: the sender, the content, the links, the time it was sent, and even whether you usually open emails from that person. And it makes a decision in milliseconds. Think about how many spam emails you don't see. That is AI working for you in the background. You never think about it, but it saves you from a huge headache every single day. Now, I want to talk about something that is a bit more futuristic, but is already here: AI in healthcare. I am not talking about robots doing surgery. I am talking about the little things. Your smartwatch tracks your heart rate and sleep patterns. It uses AI to detect anomalies. If something looks off, it alerts you. Some watches can even detect falls and call emergency services automatically. That is AI, and it is saving lives. There are also apps that use AI to analyze your skin and check for unusual moles, or apps that can analyze your voice to detect early signs of Parkinson's. This stuff is real, and it is only going to get better. But of course, it is not all sunshine and rainbows. There are concerns. Privacy is a big one. Every time you use an AI service, you are giving it data: your voice, your face, your preferences, your habits, and that data is valuable. Companies use it to train their models, but they also use it for advertising and other purposes. So you have to be aware. You have to make choices about what you are comfortable sharing. Read the privacy policies. Not all of them, that would be crazy, but at least understand what data a service collects and how it uses it. A good rule of thumb is, if a service is free, you are probably the product. Another concern is bias. AI models are trained on data created by humans, and humans have biases, so the AI can pick up those biases and amplify them. We have seen examples of hiring algorithms that discriminated against women, facial recognition systems that performed worse on people with darker skin. These are real problems, and the tech industry is working on fixing them, but it is a slow process, so it is important to be critical. Don't trust AI blindly. Question its outputs, especially when it comes to important decisions. All right, let me wrap this up with some practical advice. How can you make AI work for you starting today? First, pick one tool and learn it well. Don't try to use everything at once. Maybe start with ChatGPT or Claude. Use it for small tasks. Ask it to rewrite an email. Ask it to summarize an article. Ask it to generate ideas for a project. The more you use it, the better you will understand its strengths and weaknesses. Second, automate the boring stuff. There are tools like IFTTT or Zapier that let you connect different apps and automate repetitive tasks. For example, you can set it up so that every time you receive an email attachment, it automatically saves to your cloud storage. Or every time you post a photo on Instagram, it gets saved to a folder on your computer. These automations are powered by AI, and they can save you hours every week. Third, stay curious. The field is moving incredibly fast. What was cutting edge 6 months ago is already outdated, so keep learning. Follow a few tech blogs, subscribe to a newsletter, or just keep listening to this podcast. I will make sure you stay up to date. And finally, don't be afraid. I know AI can feel intimidating. It is changing so fast, and it is hard to keep up. But you don't need to understand every detail. You just need to understand enough to use it well. Think of AI like a new kind of tool. Like when the internet first came out. At first it was confusing, but then people learned how to use it and it changed everything. The same thing is happening with AI, and you are already ahead of the game because you care enough to learn about it. So, let's recap really quick. We talked about voice assistants and how they have gotten way better. We talked about how AI powers your photo gallery, your navigation apps, and your streaming recommendations. We talked about large language models like ChatGPT and how you can use them to be more productive. We talked about AI in healthcare and the smartwatch on your wrist. And we talked about the important concerns around privacy and bias. It's a lot, I know, but the main takeaway is this. AI is already part of your daily life. And if you learn to use it intentionally, you can get so much more out of it. And if you have a topic you want me to cover, send me a message. I read every single one. Until next time, stay curious, stay smart, and I will talk to you soon. This is Zoe, signing off.